Welcome to the I Love Coaching podcast, the show where we help coaches, entrepreneurs, and leaders build businesses that create massive impact. I'm Adam Roach, alongside my incredible co-host,
Jess Webber, and we're here today to bring you the best strategies, mindset shifts, and real-life success stories to help you level up in your coaching journey.
Whether you're launching your coaching business, scaling to 6 or 7 figures, or just looking for inspiration to push through, this podcast is your go-to resource.
We're bringing you expert insights, real talk, and actionable items every single episode. So if you're ready to take your coaching game to the next level,
then let's dive on in. Here's what we get to do today, Jess, is we get to call out our listeners for waiting for permission. Here's what we see. We see time and time again people stopping their action because they're waiting for permission. You don't need another course, you guys. You don't need a certification. You don't need some boss giving you the structure on how to do something, or a spouse, or some guru to tell you you're ready. Here's what you simply need is you need permission. Stop sitting around. Stop waiting. Here's why I'm telling you this and why we're going to talk about this today, because it's costing you your future. It is costing them their future as they sit around and wait for permission. The only person who can greenlight what it is you want to do is you. If you're watching right now, I'm pointing at you with love and respect, of course, Jess. So, Jess, this is what we're going to dive into. And we've got three simple solutions for them to get over waiting for permission.
Yes, and I think this is such a timely conversation because we just wrapped up a challenge and we noticed that a lot of the people in the challenge were waiting for permission from somebody. They were coming from a dependent model. They were somebody who was maybe coaching for free or like an amateur coach, and they were waiting for permission to become a pro coach.
And they were all so talented.
Incredible humans that the world needs.
Yes.
And yet this concept of permission was such a huge hang up for so many of them. So the first honestly step in getting over this waiting
Before we go to this, I don't want to go to that just yet, Jess, because I want to go back to this. I want to continue because this is a coaching podcast. We are here to coach you all. And that is what I want to do with our listeners right now, is I want to go back and I want to continue to call out the ones that are waiting for permission, because you and I can both speak to this because we've waited for permission ourselves with certain things.
For sure.
Right? I've waited for permission to launch courses, to launch communities, to take action and launch a software company. I've waited for permission. And that feeling that you have, just when it's like there's something eating inside of you that's like, hello, you got something, go, please. We know that feeling, and we know that our listeners have that feeling too. Where have you had that feeling before?
Well, I mean, I was conditioned to have that feeling in the education space. I had to go get certified in a grade level and a content area in order to be allowed to teach it. And so knowing that my core, North Star is always educating or teaching or informing people, that's shown up in a bunch of different ways. So when I was in even an entrepreneurial business and leadership, I had to get permission to teach a class. I applied to be part of the university program that certified people to teach across the company. All of these different places where I sat waiting for somebody else to tell me I was good enough. And it's been a fascinating thing since, working with you and joining I Love Coaching and all of these things to come into my own and recognize that I don't need any of that. Yeah. I mean, I have let all of my teaching licenses expire because I can go be an effective teacher without a piece of paper that says I can teach high school history or I can teach middle school math, right? And so it's been this journey of recognizing that it's not the paper, it's not the company that gives you the little logo that says you're an approved this or a certified this, that gives you the validity to go help people and change lives.
Yeah. And what we find with, and by the way, I'm going to say this next part with respect to these types of companies, the dependent coaching companies. You are in a cog, you're part of a spoke in their wheel, right? It's like you think that you're coaching, which you are, and I'm sure you're really impacting people. Though what we find is when a coach is in a dependent model, just they are coaching to what that company wants them to coach to.
Mm-hmm.
And that may not be even their uniqueness. Well, it could be because that may be the lane that they're currently in, but it could not. It might not even be their passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just coaching because they want to coach in that space because mentally, which is going to be the first solution that we're going to come to, they think that that's where they need to coach. But when they realize that that's not what they want to coach, they're still waiting for someone else to tell them that they can go coach somewhere else, and they get stuck in this space of working for someone else when their heart, their soul, their calling feels like it's somewhere else.
Oh, 100%. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's funny going back to my teaching days, I was consistently at odds with my administration because I felt like I knew what my students needed, whether it was pacing or the order of the curriculum and the content or something like that. And I was consistently in trouble for not following their predetermined path. And so, I mean, even before I ever thought about being an entrepreneur, right? I was salaried educator. I was still at odds with people because I was waiting on their permission to do the thing that I felt like I needed to do. And it's like it's so crazy when you can identify that and understand that the only person holding you back is you. It's not the other people. It's not these things.
Mm.
So,
Okay, so the very first thing from a solution standpoint that we want to help expose you to is really taking a step back and saying, where am I stalling and stepping into a space that is passion oriented for me or a calling? And where am I stalling? And what am I doing that's sabotaging myself? Right.
mm,
And I'll give you an example to that is we've seen coaches come into our community that were coaching with other companies but they felt something. They felt a calling to go into an independent space and build something that was theirs, that they owned 100%. They were scared, but they were starting to take action, which is really cool. A sabotaging moment could be, well, I've invested to join this community, but I don't have any money coming in just yet because it's brand spanking new. So I'm going to go take another dependent client. Right, I'm going to go take something else where it's going to fill my time, but it's not going to fill my soul, and it's only going to give me a certain percentage of money, and it's going to delay the process of me doing it on my own. That's a sabotage.
yeah. Well, a sabotage is one way, stalling is the other. And the stalling usually comes from some level of imposter syndrome, right? And
Mhm.
fear of doing it on your own.
Right.
So we see people who are coming from a dependent model stay stuck in dependence there. But we also see people who may not be coming from any model at all, not launch or take any sort of action or gain momentum because they've got this paralysis, whether it's analysis paralysis or perfection paralysis of, oh, it has to be a certain way before I put it out into the world,
Mhm.
or some other excuse and reason that they'll create for themselves that helps them stall that much longer.
And these are two that we actually see all the time. There's a third one, but it's not. It is relevant, and that is just waiting, right? Or we call it
Hmm.
kicking the can down the road. Though, if you feel that you're waiting for permission for something, you are allowing yourself to stall. You are allowing yourself to sabotage in one way or another, and both of those can go hand in hand, right? And at the same time, we want you to take a step back. We want you to take a step back and we want you to say, okay, where am I stalling? So let's go back to our challenge. We had someone join our challenge last week that had been in a space of coaching, not in a passion space, but maybe a passion space, but realized this past week that the world is a big place.
It's passion
And
adjacent.
that's right, passion adjacent. That's good. And realized, holy cow, that they had been stalling for 5 years, right? 5, 6 years. And we see that so frequently because of your language that they're afraid. They don't know what's on the other side, right? They don't know how to go do something. But here's the thing, you all, I'm going to challenge you. We got solution 2 here for this, but you do know what's on the other side. You do know what to do. You just sabotage yourself and you don't go look for it.
Hmm.
Right? You don't go look for what we call solution number 2 is find a strategy.
Yeah.
Find a strategy that works. And Jess, you are really good at strategy. You're really good at building things. So what would you say to that, right? If we are trying to remove this thought process of stop waiting for permission, and we realize that we've been stalling, and we realize we've been sabotaging ourselves, and now this bald-headed crazy coach guy named Adam is telling me to go find a strategy. You are probably one of the best strategists on the planet. What would you say to them there?
I would say, like you said, lean into a strategy that already works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's part of the reason so many people stall and sabotage is because they feel like they have to do it on their own. They're stuck in a silo mentality, and you don't have to do it alone. And that's not a shameless plug specifically for I Love Coaching, although it can be. But in general, there are so many strategies out there in the world that you can find one that aligns with you, find one that makes sense for the outcome that you desire, and then you can go implement it.
How do you know when a strategy is good, though, right? It's like, because it feels like, and I'm going to play this other side because I know how good you are at building strategies. I see so many people on the gram saying, use my 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, do this, do that, do this. How do we really know when a strategy is good?
I think it starts with the end in mind. So, what is the outcome that you're looking for? And is their outcome at the end of their strategy in alignment with the one that you're looking for?
That's good.
Because I believe that you said it exactly. There's a million gurus out there, there's a million strategies out there, but they each have what we would call a payoff, right? They have some predefined end result, and you need to know what yours is at a deeper level than just, oh, I want some money or I want out of this. You need to have, some sort of vision or North Star for yourself, and then find somebody's strategy that has helped them reach their North Star or their goal that's in alignment with yours. And then their 1, 2, 3 steps are going to make more sense. Because if you're picking somebody arbitrarily, maybe they've made $1 million, maybe they've made $10 million. But if their outcome isn't what you're seeking, then it's going to feel misaligned from the start, and you're going to continue to stall or sabotage because it's out of alignment. So for me, authentic alignment is the strategy.
Yeah. Well, I can give a story right there. 2019, when I exited my franchises, I felt a calling towards coaching and went to coach the people who were using my software at the time, but I didn't have a strategy, right? I didn't have a business building strategy. And that's when I found and fell in love with the strategy of Dan Henry, right? That's when I really stepped into, whoa, everything he's saying is what I have in my mind. I just didn't have the steps to go follow and do. And I tell you, that was one of those moments where I didn't know Dan, but I did know behind Dan was I'm blanking on his name. Who's the funnel guy?
Kennedy?
No. The like
Russell Brunson?
Russell Brunson. Yeah, I knew that Dan was following Russell's process, and I thought I'm gonna step into a webinar. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to follow his funnel to see actually what happens. And I knew I was looking for a strategy. But I tell you, every day I would really contemplate, I can build this on my own. I can build this on my own. But I just couldn't whiteboard enough. I couldn't figure out the right steps because there was no proof of concept there. And then I realized after watching, he said something. And this isn't going to be rocket science, but boy, it sure landed with Adam Roach. He said, stop trying to reinvent the wheel. I was like, oh, he's talking to me. And so I got on a sales call. They were asking all the right questions, pushing all the right buttons. I didn't feel sold. I felt aligned. And then she said, it's $10,000. I thought to myself, I had to sit there and say, okay, $10,000. Will this be the vehicle that I will follow, right? Because we know people don't invest just in themselves. It's not because the product, it's because they don't believe that they will follow the product, right? And so I had to say to myself, when I invest $10,000 in myself, that is going to be the strategy that is going to get me to where I ultimately want to go. What's my ROI? What do I want the payoff to be? And I got that back in about 2.5 months because I followed the strategy, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about here with strategy is if you find yourself waiting for permission, we've already talked about the first solution. The second solution is find a strategy, find a path, find a framework that aligns with where it is you're looking to grow to. I didn't say go to, we said grow to. because you're going to grow through that strategy process that will ultimately get you to the third solution, Jess.
100%. And that third solution is really, really simple.
Careful.
I actually, oh no, I'm not wearing that shirt. I thought I was wearing the execute shirt, but I'm wearing the elevate shirt.
They kind of go one hand in hand. Yeah.
They do, but your third strategy is just take action, just execute on it. So when you find the aligned strategy, right, and you have the clarity on the things that are holding you back, the only thing that you need to do after that is stop waiting for permission and take action.
Yep. Do you know what, Jess? Do you know what? When you start to take action, do you know it goes away? Do you know it goes away?
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, imposter syndrome, the stalling, the sabotaging, because, and again, I'm only going to speak for myself. When I invested with Dan Henry, when I invested that $10,000, and I saw step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and I followed them sequentially, a win was me finishing that and taking action on what he suggested to go do. Whether I got the result coming back from it or not, the taking action started to remove the stalling component, the sabotaging component, the mental conversation that I had going on of that imposter syndrome, because I was winning now. I was executing. And I think, Jess, that we are in a world right now. We talked about this in the community, whether it was last week or a few weeks ago, that, and I believe I heard Graham Cochran say this, that we are in a very information-rich world right now. Information is at our fingertips, literally everywhere. You got the Googles of the world, and you've got everything that, from the courses to the in-person type things. And in 2023, when the GPTs came around, holy cow, we had literally every bit of information that we wanted at our fingertips. Where we are poor, though, Jess, is in execution. We are information rich and execution poor.
For sure. And the thing that we know, we've seen it time and time again with the hundreds of coaches we've served, right? Is when you execute, it breeds two things. It breeds clarity, right? And it breeds confidence.
Yes.
And those are the things that help you gain momentum and get you even further out of that analysis paralysis, that sabotage, that stalling, right? And so it sounds simple, but honestly, it's not always easy. And so we encourage you, do the simple thing. Find the strategy that aligns and take the action on the strategy, because that simply is enough to give you that permission, because you're going to gain that confidence and gain that clarity.
And one word that you left out there is perfectionism. I want to set the expectation that when you start to execute, you all, messy is going to be your middle name. You are going to be a complete mess. That's not negative. It's going to be messy. When I launched and followed Dan's stuff way back in the day, it said to create a Facebook group, right? And this was 2019, so I created a Facebook group. I had no idea really what I was doing with that Facebook group. And then here's what he said. He said, invite everybody that you know. Well, the only way I knew how to invite everybody was to get in front of everybody. So I literally invited everybody to a quick little something or other and said, join my Facebook group. It was a disaster, but guess what? After those many conversations, it went from one person joining to 10 people, then 10 people to 20 people. And within like 6 months, 1,500 people were in there. But guess what? I went from messy to messier, all right? Because I was doing more execution and just gaining confidence all along the way. So let's go back to the top here, Jess. Hold on, you want to say something? I think I cut you off.
Go ahead.
So we know what causes people to wait for permission, right? We know what causes people to stop is their mental blocks. And I think what we just uncovered here is the fastest way to get over your mental blocks is to, expose them first, find your strategy, and then execute on the strategy that you have chosen to invest in.
Yep. That's the perfect way to go about this. I mean, like I said, it's easy. It's simple. I am the perfectionist that you're talking about. I want everything, my ducks in a row, and I want like a laser level, making sure that the line is straight and all the things. And yet I would not be coaching today if you hadn't kicked me in the rear end and said, stop trying to perfect everything and just start doing. And so, this podcast, while it's meant to coach everybody else up and help them, it's also a whole lot of self-talk of get out of your own way and just go do the thing, because it is going to breed everything else. And so we want you to understand, again, like we said at the beginning, you don't need the certifications. You don't need some company or person or boss or whatever telling you that you've earned the right to become a coach, because everything that you have gone through and you have experienced as an individual is valuable to the person you were 3 or 5 years ago, to borrow from our friend Rory Vaden. And so you are strategically positioned to help somebody else without a certification, without a website, without an evergreen course. You can help people. You can change lives. So the only thing that you need to do is go take action on this.
It's very, very true. And taking action is where we need to go. My camera just turned off. How funny. Here it comes. You see, Jess, that was so much heat that it turned off my camera because it said it got too hot. That was good. That got too hot. So if you're watching on YouTube and you saw me disappear, that's what just happened. Okay, so let's land this plane here, because that was great, great information. And I think at the end of the day, actually, let me rephrase that. We know that at the end of the day, you don't need more permission. You don't need anybody to tell you really how great you are. You literally, if you do feel that you need permission, that's okay. That's not a wrong feeling. Just expose it. Where are you stalling? Where are you sabotaging yourself? Secondly, what is the one strategy, the one coach, the one place that you are going to put your time, energy, and effort into? And then go follow that, right? Go follow that. Go execute on that strategy. Go execute on what that coach is sharing you to do, and step into that space. Again, we're solely talking about building a coaching business here. Go execute on that space. Go do it. Go get messy. Go really just fail your way forward. But when you have the right strategy and you have the right coach and you're following that one thing and not getting, losing focus or diluted focus, you're going to have success. You're going to have a heck of a lot more success than you're having right now of not doing anything.
Exactly. Some success is better than none, right?
Exactly.
Messy is better than not done. So go do the thing.
Yep. Go do the thing. Okay. So land the plane, Jess. Take us home.
Yeah. So if you found this valuable and you want more content, we've got our podcast episodes, our blog, and a new challenge coming up. All that information is on our website at ilovecoachingco.com. So we hope to see you there.
So I'm going to plug the, so if you're looking for a strategy, right? If this landed with you, go find our challenge, our October coming challenge. And that will be what we call a 10K coaching offer challenge. It is a strategy. It is a very simple strategy to follow to help you get into this space. So go check it out and go register for that. Jess, thank you for your time today. This was fun.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Take care. See you. Bye.